Your blonde bombshell here with you, and I'm not alone. I have your steamy questions for Dear Bombshell. So I'm going to try and not focus on myself so much, even though at the end of this, there's myself questions that you all have asked. I'm going to try and focus on helping you and your problems and situations. So the first situation we have, question. Dear Bombshell, is it possible to forgive a cheating ex? My situation is I was married to my high school sweetheart, and basically time came in between us. And we do share a child who is now 9 years old. You would think that we could co-parent and leave well enough alone. But so far, it's not happening that way. And lately, when we do find time to parent or co-parent, we're doing it as a family unit. It's brought us closer together, and I'm wondering, is it time to forgive and forget? And do what you think I would be a fool? If time was the only thing that came between you two, time has a funny way of changing things. It can either bring you closer apart or closer together or tear you farther apart. If there was no cheating done in the situation, then by all means, it's time to forgive and maybe put the family back as a unit. Would you be a fool? Love makes us a fool. And sometimes you can say, "Oh, I love you," and really mean it with all your heart. And sometimes you can say, "Oh, I love you." And you may say it, you may think it, but it doesn't come from the heart. So would it make you a fool? I don't know. I'm kind of bitter. I would say love is about risking things and taking chances. If you feel like, you know what, we never should have been apart in the first place, then by all means, give him a second chance. If you think, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Why am I giving this man a second chance? Then don't do it. It's got to be your decision ultimately, and only you can tell yourself if you're going to be a fool or not. So that's my answer for you. Dear Bombshell, I'm really interested in this hunk of a man. However, he has a risky job. One where he might leave me and never make it back home alive. Any suggestions? In life, we don't have guarantees. Yes, there's a day that we're all born and a day that we all die. There is no way of knowing when that day is going to come. There is no way of us leading our life to be like, okay, tomorrow is my last day, so I've got to do this now. If you think that he's a hunk, just because he has a risky profession, and you may never see him again, I want you to do something for me. Make every moment count. And take that leap of faith and fall in love with that man. And while you're in love, don't say, oh my goodness, you could die tomorrow in a house fire if you're a fireman. You could get shot if you're a policeman. You could, just think of all the worst case scenarios out there. Just all you got to do is go, you know what? I love him. He loves me. And if you build a family out of it, think of that. That's the greatest gift that you're going to get from that love. And it's the ultimate joy. So I don't think that would be a great risk, do you? I think it would be worth it. Dear Bombshell, my ex-husband and I are having a difference of opinion. At what age should a child do house chores to learn responsibility to earn an allowance? Honestly, I would hope that you're having small house chores leading up to bigger house chores in order to learn that allowance. I would think that from birth, They should be knowing their duties around the house. Well, I wouldn't say like at birth and okay, you got to go sweep the floor. No, I would say approximately, they're always learning as they go. And actually, I had an instance this week myself when I was at County Market where the parent taught the child that it was okay to steal. So to me, it's all about good parenting to that child in order for them to grow as a great adult. I had some free coupons on some paper plates and a pie that I was going to use for my niece's 20th birthday. Okay, well, I went over to the yogurt, and I'm getting my yogurt, thinking, okay, you know what? I've got this. I'm all proud of myself. But meanwhile, I am on the phone having a conversation with my mother about, I don't really know what we were talking about. Probably Grandma. But anyway, I'll give you an update on Grandma at the end of the video. Long story short, the little girl picks up the coupons, looks at me, and runs away to her mom and goes, look what this nice woman gave me. I did not give her those. Okay? So then the mother, when I approach her, she's like, oh, thank you for these coupons. I said, no, this is a misunderstanding. I'm sorry, I never gave her the coupons. I simply dropped them and I thought she would give them back to me. She tore my name off of the coupons on purpose and then proceeded towards the checkout. I stopped a clerk. The clerk actually went up and seen if there was any more coupons available because he felt sorry for the whole situation. There wasn't. And when we went, he says, well, we can try and go ask them for the coupons back. Well, I said, if she's teaching her child to basically, steal, that would be wise. And they basically said, oh, you know what, those are our coupons. And there was no way to prove them wrong because my name was off the coupons by the time she tore them in half. So I just had to let things go and get the pie at full price. But still, I believe that responsibility and accountability starts at a very early age. And you, the parent, as the guardian, have a responsibility to that child to raise them to know right from wrong. And that child, to me, will never know right from wrong. So to earn an allowance for chores, I would say approximately age 5, even if it's like a quarter a day or, a quarter a week, something small to go into big. And I would say that the most you should pay out for an allowance would be like $20 a week, just to teach accountability and responsibility. And maybe every chore should be like a little cost to get them to that accountability. But it starts at an early age. Dear Bombshell. Oh, this is from one of my guy friends, so I always get excited when I read these. This girl I'm interested in, I believe, thinks, quote, love hurts, end quote. Meaning she believes love exists in movies and books, but not real life. How do I get her to realize good men still like me exist, and we would give any opportunity to get to know her? Romance her, romance her, romance her. And one question I didn't answer or write down was one of my friends, she asked me, how do I get my man to be more romantic? Well, I'm going to tie these two in together. First and foremost, love doesn't always hurt. It may that she have all these bad experiences where she's never experienced what you think she ought to experience with you, where you think that you're a good guy and you think that, you want to show her that you can take her on the date and she won't act like all scared, or that you could take her on a date and her not compare you with her exes, or you can take her on a date and she would let her guard down and let you in. Our past experiences sometimes haunt our future. And I would say to my friend who said, to what can you do to get him to be more romantic? You can't change him. You got what you got. And you can't teach romance. There's no way really for anyone to teach romance 101. It's got to come from the heart. If they don't do it from the heart, then they don't care. if they don't give you a card that says, hey, I'm thinking about you, or just a simple handwritten note that says, hey, what are you doing at 7, or just a simple gesture, then all that effort and time that you're thinking about that other person is that other person doing the same for you. That's something you all should be thinking about. Dear Bombshell, my girlfriend wants to have a vacation where we go to her parents and get to know her family. Problem is, we've only been dating 1 month, 2 days, 3 hours, 26 seconds. Well, that's according to her. And it's time for us to meet her parents. She thinks, but I'm not so sure. What's the advice? Well, it sounds to me like she's thinking that you are her Mr. Right. And you may be thinking that she is your Miss Right now, or your flavor of the month. So, you two are on totally two different wavelengths. The only advice I would give you both, sit down and talk this out. That is the only way to get the right feelings going, the right way of going. Do not do this over the phone. Do not do this over the internet. Do this face to face. That way there is no problems. Dear Bombshell, please advise me on how to handle a hard-headed, stubborn woman. I have been a perfect gentleman and very loyal. I did last week stop and chit-chat with my ex-girlfriend. We happened to be in the same place at the same time, and we parted on good terms when we did break up. My new girlfriend, however, is always jumping to conclusions, and I just want her to understand the past is the past and she is my future. Help. This is something that even I would have problems with. I think it's a trust issue. You can say all the right words and paint all the pretty pictures, but sometimes we've been hurt so bad that we don't believe you. And it's hard for us to trust you. So, therefore, you have to work a little harder and go the extra mile more than you would have to another relationship. Is it worth the effort? That's something only you can decide. But if you make the decision that that relationship is worth it, then please focus on your new relationship and simply speak to your ex. If you know that your current girlfriend is very jealous or insecure regarding your ex, you don't want to get these thoughts of, oh my goodness, I'm gonna leave her for her going, because once those start in, then the only thing that happens next is, they say if you accuse somebody long enough of doing something wrong, eventually they do it. At least that's what my first Mr. 8.5 years told me one time when I kept accusing him of doing something wrong. And eventually he blamed me for his cheating with his best friend's wife. But I don't know. Dear Bombshell, I had to stop and read my own handwriting with my glasses off. That's hard. Is it okay for a fella to always pay on the date, or should a woman shell out the cash too? If so, and when? I would say talk this over with your date. No, I'm old school, old fashioned. If a guy asks me out, then it's his job to pay. I don't believe that the woman should come very forward and be like, you know what, stud, I'm going to take you out on the town tonight and I'm going to give you a free meal. And no, I don't believe in that. I believe there's occasions where you may go Dutch, yes, but I don't believe that the woman should always shell out the cash either. Actually, I would say that the man should treat the lady like a lady and go above and beyond to want her to go out with him again and pamper her. But that's just my hopeless romantic series there. Dear Bombshell, what question should a man never ask a woman he is interested in? Oh, this is good. I would say this question right here. And this is an opening line, by the way, where he looks at her and goes, "So, you're single. Why is that? Seriously? Is that the best you got? And why are you asking why I'm single to begin with? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of." Anyway, that just burns my ire. Anyway. Dear Bombshell, here we go. We're getting personal now. Why are you dead set on no celebration to celebrate your holiday this year? Everybody knows the holiday they're referring to is my birthday. I'm dead set against it because in my book, last year I had the most amazing birthday, and I have 6 birthday wishes, and I don't think, well, maybe 1 out of the 6 may come true, but I don't see it being an outstanding year. And the word older, I can't stand it. The thought of me getting older, I can't stand it. So, yes, I'm vain, and I guess I've had so many thoughts about my future and what I expected out of myself, and I'm disappointed in myself because nothing has went according to my life plan. By now, I did expect to be married and start having my children, and some would say you got your virtual marriage, so yes, you got half of what you wanted. Well, that's not the same, and I know that now. Dear Bombshell, name a word that disappoints you. Someday. That means to me that you really aren't giving a hoot. You're just wanting to get rid of me and get your, set me up for false hopes. And I've had those before. I don't need help there. Name a word that brings you joy. Happiness. I would say fulfillment. Knowing something comes true. That would bring me true happiness. Dear Bombshell, it seems to me that you have given up on love. Do you feel that is true? Oh boy, I said we weren't going to focus on me. I would say love exists in books and movies. I have had my chances at love, and I guess it's because I'm really disappointed that I'm not married right now, that I haven't had my kids. And I know that my grandmother feels in her heart that that's going to change and that I'm going to get married soon and I'm going to have these kids soon. And I wish and I hope and pray that she's right. But I don't know. I would say my heart is still with Mr. CB. And I said I wasn't going to say this. And I would hope and pray that things could be worked out. But I've got to be realistic. And life doesn't always work out the way we want it to. So I'm prepared for the worst birthday ever. We've said this before, I'm saying it again. And as far as I'm concerned, it's been a hard year. And with my grandma, she did finally do the steps Friday. So, that's wonderful, right? Excuse me. But I just don't see right now it being an outstanding year. Not at all. I really hope and pray that she gets to come home. And it's not like she's not making advances. She is. It's just harder to see the struggle that she's had to go through. And I'm there with her through this struggle. All I can do is pray for her and encourage her. And I hope that you all do the same. Put her in your thoughts and your prayers. As for my wishes for my birthday, which I know that's going to be a question, Well, we went from 3 to 6. Why? Because my first wish went to my grandma coming home by August 3rd. And my second wish went to seeing Chris Young on July 28th. My third wish, you're going to think I'm stupid and it's a long shot, but for me and Mr. CB to work things out. My fourth wish would be to see Dylan Scott. And my fifth wish, I would love to have all of my credit cards paid off so I could focus on adopting a child. My sixth wish, I would love, it's a tie between my cell phone, which I'm, yes, emotionally attached to this old one now because of a lot of reasons, but since I lost the other one and I have this new phone, which let's not forget that happened this year too, which the new phone is my old phone. It doesn't always work right. And then I would love for my car to be in tip-top shape, which I hear that I need a fuel pump, which I'm not really sure if I do or not. I wonder if they're trying to pull my leg and get more money out of me. I can't remember if it was a fuel pump or a water pump, but it was one of the two. It's a pump. So I guess that would be it. Oh, I'd like to go horseback riding, so I guess it's 7, but I don't know if any of those will really come true. So I'm really depressed. So be it. I might see you again for one more song. I haven't sung yet. What am I saying? One more song. For a song. Just stay tuned, okay?